Welcome to the App Showcase, where we review Microsoft-related apps primarily from the App Store. In support of our customers' need to do market research on apps such as these, SV MacPack started recording our review of these apps. We're a certified Veteran-Owned and HUBZone consulting firm supporting the U.S. federal government. We hope these reviews help you as well as them. In this video, we'll be reviewing a mini calendar app from Artezio. It's an app off the App Store, and you might have seen in episode 44 we did their mini calendar Lite, and so this is a paid version. I think it's like $99, and so we'll figure that out in a second. As always, I move fast, point out what I like and what would make me hesitate to recommend this app to my customers. My goal in this tour is just to be as candid as I would be if just talking to my own team about this app. Hopefully the review helps you and perhaps even provides feedback to the publishers of this app. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move to the Microsoft App Store. And one of the first things I want to point out that I was a little confused on with these guys as I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the mini calendar app page, and then I also have open the mini calendar Lite app page. And as I go back and forth, the only thing I could tell, besides the fact that I didn't zoom in the same way, is there's just a couple of lines that are changing. So here it's saying they can track multiple calendars on a site collection. And when I go to Mini Lite, it's saying tracking from within the current site. But if you had watched episode 44, you know that I actually I got a little confused on that, and I tested it with subsites. So that means this Mini Calendar Lite actually does do subsites and the main site that you're on. So that was a little confusing. And then the only other thing that I can change in the next bullet is it looks like here it says even details can be reviewed, and I think that's supposed to be event because when you switch over, it says event details. But everything else looks the same. If you look at the pictures, they're all the same over here, and I go to the mini calendar Lite, they all look the same. So currently, I'm not really seeing what the difference is. The bug fixes that they did right there look the same on the calendar Lite as they do down here on the main one. So there's not a whole lot in there. This is 1302, and this product is 11202, which is funny because it's like 10 months later for the Lite. But anyway, so I'm thinking they're all pretty much the same. It's a calendar that, if you haven't watched 44, I'll just give you a quick tour. It allows you to have a mini calendar in your SharePoint site. You see the color codes tell you when there's events in there. The light blue is today's date, and then you see the number that tells you how many events in that date. As you come along, you'll see this is just how to configure it, so I'll show you that in a minute. But here's the display that they're trying to show you is that that one that had 10 events, here's what it kind of looks like. And then also they're telling you that you can change the color if you go into CSS. So let's go ahead and get started with our tour of it. If I come over here to the site I'm going to demo off of, the Artezio, I had the mini calendar Lite is what I did in episode 44, so right above it is the regular one. When I click on it, it takes me to just a page that's giving me some basic information about the company up here at the top, right? And then this part here just talks about this is an app part, and so you need to go to the home page or some page and add the part there, and I'll do that in a second. And then the last one, I said this before, I really like this. They have a known issue they haven't been able to solve, but they did come up with a workaround. And so they provided the workaround. I thought that was a really good step on their behalf. Let me go ahead and close this because it's no good to me. And I'm going to go to the home page and see what it looks like to add this app in. And remember, this is not training, so I'm moving really fast. Coming up here to the gear icon, I'm going to edit the page. I'm going to insert the app part, and here it's got the mini calendar Lite, and the one I'm doing is right above it, which is the mini calendar. Add that guy, and let's see what we got. Okay, so this one comes up with a little thing. It just lets me know, let me zoom in for you. It lets me know that I've got 14 days left on air and I can buy it, and I think it's like $99. Sorry, let me see this. They had the price somewhere. There it is. Right there on the notes, the app is $99. It says unlimited premise, farm, and online, but that seems unusual because they also have somewhere else where they say contact us to learn more about large-scale deployments. But let me go ahead and scroll that back, get back to the app showcase. So when it comes up, you just see the basic information. It's got the date. The today always returns you. So if I'm on a different month, and by the way, that's what the arrows do, is they just move you back and forth in the month. If I hit today, it takes me back to the today. So now you see when I'm recording this. Let's go ahead and see how intuitive it is to edit the web part and configure this calendar. I'm going to add a little advantage over you in that oh, this is interesting. So this one is different. If you've watched the light, the configuration was really minimal, and now it looks like they've popped that configuration out of the tool pane area and brought it over here on its own. So let's see what we got here. It's dynamic, so I'll show you that in a minute, but basically it means it changes it from a mini calendar to making it fill the web part zone, and I'll show that in a second. Here you can say 24-hour zone, so is it 4 p.m. or 1600? Coming down, the event details just say what's the information you want to display. I think that's pretty intuitive to all of us. I'm going to leave it like that. And then first day of the week is Sunday. So that looks like what it allows you to configure. The funny thing that I'm missing here is, where did I choose my calendars? Let me hit save and see what happens. So the settings were successful. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Right there, it has that. So that's not intuitive. I missed that completely, but, I could be a bozo. So let me click on that. Now it comes up. I mean, I like how clean that is. If there was something that just, click here or a little plus sign. So here's the calendars. Oh, this is pretty cool. So it's showing one site collection that I'm in, and it's showing that I have a sub-site. So here you can choose which calendars. I've got 3 calendars, and I'm going to display them. And also, as long as we're doing this, I'm going to expand somewhere. So again, I think they were getting a little too fancy. That was really hard to see. Let's see that little thing. That should have been just the traditional plus sign. I don't know if these dotted lines are necessary, but I would say just get rid of them. Not that it's a deal breaker. It's just, it was slightly confusing. So let me expand that, and I'm going to say, let me use this sub-site calendar. So now I've got my 4 calendars in there, and I'm going to hit save again. Settings were successful. In this case, for the fun of it, I'm turning off the title. I don't need any title. I want to get rid of that title. Let's go ahead and close this. Save the page and see what we got. So there you go. It takes a couple seconds to load. I don't mind this error going across the top or this notification across the top, because the reality is, if you're using it in production, then you should pay for it. So let's scroll in here and see what we got and see what it tells us. So you see right away where my events are, and if you click on it, the event comes up. It's got the title. Let's go ahead and close that. That's pretty intuitive. So you just click on the day to see what's in here. Let's see what it's like when we click on the event. Okay, so when you click on the event, it takes it to its form, the view form. I'm going to edit this really quick and see what it looks like with the description. John is heading off into space for his final trip around the moon. Let's see what that looks like. And so this is the fun part. I pay particular attention to this. A lot of solutions, when developers develop them and you hit save or cancel at this point, they take you back to the native list. But what really should happen is it should take me back to the calendar that I just came from. So I hit save. Oh, and that's funny. So here, it took me back to the native calendar area, which is bad. I don't like that. Ironically, their light version, these guys on their light version, I was singing its praises in episode 44 because it took me back right here to this calendar homepage. Let's go ahead and see what we got, because I wanted to see what the description looked like. I'm going to click on that. There you go. So it's showing you the event. Cancel. And then, so some of these, they're not really telling you where they're coming from. Yep. So anyways, that's your mini calendar. Let me go ahead and go back in and edit this page one last time and see if there's anything else we can do. Edit the page. and then I'm going to edit the web part. I do find it interesting that for all of that, all they did was moved it over to this area. There's nothing else in here. Oh, let me just show you the dynamic really quick because I said I'd show that. I'm going to hit OK and save the page. You'll notice now the mini calendar is no longer a mini calendar. Wow. Let me go in here and just make sure I didn't not save it. Edit the web part. I hit it and then I hit OK and I should have hit save. Again, user error. So let's go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to save the page. There you go. Now you can see what it looks like. Okay, and so this is what their mini calendar looks like when it becomes all grown up. So you can make it dynamic, and it fills the size of the web part zone. I like that. This looks a lot cleaner for those people who like a bigger calendar, but it's only taking part of the page. So, okay, so let me give you a recap because, ironically, I don't know if you're going to guess this, but I'm recommending you don't download this app at all. I don't see any need for it. It costs money, and they have a version called the Mini Calendar Lite, and this version here does everything that the other one does, but ironically, it seems like it does it better. So you can get this one, and it's free. I think, it's free, and no, more importantly, even if you had to pay for it, it doesn't matter. It works. It works really well. So get the Mini Lite, which is episode 44 for this episode. I would recommend that you skip that. So as a recap, I'm recommending you don't download this app for the concerns that I mentioned. I hope you found the review useful, though, as you evaluate various apps available to you and your organization. Please provide me with feedback in the comments. Let me know how I can make this App Showcase channel and these reviews more useful to you. Feel free to even suggest apps that we should review, and we'll get them on the schedule. Finally, if you found this review helpful, please share a note about it on one of the social media platforms or just give it a thumbs up. I'm your host, Neil McDonald with SV MacPack. I thank you for joining me today and hope you'll join me again for other reviews.